Yeah, take two. Okay, the intro's running right now.
Eureka.
We make plays every day, yeah.
Yeah, the Jamaicans, wake them up.
They're awake today.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah,
We make plays every day, yeah.
this is a fucking momentous occasion.
Every day, yeah.
Bud Light, give me money.
Plays every day, yeah. We make
Hey,
every day, yeah.
hey, welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogard Scott Free, here with my esteemed colleague, the Goo. What's happening, Goo?
What's up, baby? I see you.
I see you too.
you.
This is a momentous occasion. We are trying to manage the clock as possible and as best as we can. And what better way to manage the clock by bringing in our man Justin from Clock Management. What's happening, Just?
Shit, just happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, thank you for check us out, Playmakers. Our man Justin is hosting this joint while we host the joint. It's just a hosting motherfucking group of motherfuckers, Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna handle this housekeeping real fast. Follow us at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogard Scott Free World. Follow my esteemed colleague, the Goo, at the Guru 408. And follow my man, Justin. That's on IG at Clock Management.
Yep.
At Clock, and then on Twitter, that's manage the clock.
Management clock. Yeah.
Management Clock. Always getting dyslexic on the Twitter. And be sure to subscribe to his joint, Clock Management, on YouTube. These motherfuckers is trying to get monetized. Let's get them some money right here on the GMM Network. Give me money. Oh, Jamaicans are quiet. Excuse me. Now, I want to open this show up.
Go, baby.
I want to open this show up with a new segment, right? Before we get into this pod, I got this new segment. I just made it up earlier. For everyone that knows me, I'm extreme OCD, right? So it's a segment. It's called Paranoid or Precautious, okay? So it's March, right?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. You know, I've been tucked away. You know what I mean? Right? So it is March, right? I have what you may call a playoff beard. There is not a playoff game in sight. You know what I'm saying? And it's because I just can't bring myself to link up with my barber. He even does house calls. He'll come to me. I can go to him. Pause. Right? But is that paranoid or precautious that I'm just refusing to get a haircut?
I think that's just being precautious, man. I'm up here in Seattle, and like they shut down all the barbershops here. Like with this stuff going around, they're just no more barbershops. Nowhere where you could sit down.
Yes, right? What if there's an option to stand and get cut?
Paranoid, you tripping. That's what
Okay.
you paranoid, bro. I give it to you. I know people are precautious right now, but man, it's crazy. I mean, shit. I'm in the thick of it. I go to work still every day. I'm in a clinic. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no mask on. You know, I think I already got this.
You're
shit
a man's man,
December,
Goo.
So I mean,
You're a man's
paranoid,
man.
bro. I'm in the thick of it. I done came over. We done smoked a few already. I done gave you the COVID-19 already, bro. You've been infected.
I know, right?
You don't have to do all that no more. You're paranoid, bro.
Hey, Guru will come. Hey, check us out, Justin. Guru would slide through, right? Pause, right? Guru would slide through, and then he would have a joint already rolled for me. Like, here, bro. This is for you. This is for me.
A couple times
That's a
this
good
morning.
friend. That's a good friend.
Yeah, I know, because he knows how I am. I'm like, bro.
I've been blamed for things.
I'm the type
That's
of
all
dude,
I'm saying.
right?
I just know I'm just clearing myself of any fault. You can't legally. He can't say nothing. So that's all. I'm just trying to clear my name. That's all.
Bro, I would be like, I'll be in the same room as my kids, and they're not even looking, right? And I'll just shh with Lysol, and they'll turn around. What was that? I said shh. Corona's out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but yeah. All right. Anyways, man, we're gonna talk some good fantasy. We are gonna talk about this free agency Man, there's been some crazy shit that's happened. I mean, like, I popped several semis just, with all the movements of these men. Pause. You know what I mean? But before we get into all that, before we get into the fantasy goodness, I want to know about Justin and clock management. I know you got your boy Perry. You know what I'm saying? I want to know all about the origin story. We were goddamn superheroes when it
The
comes
mic
to
is
this.
muted.
Oh, hold on.
The mic's back
Hold on,
on.
baby.
It's lying to you. It's not muted.
Yeah, I know, right? It's funny. I must have said some kind of keyword, right? But anyway, I want to know the origin story, how clock management got started, I want you to tell us just all about you in general, as much as you could say, because I do know you work for a high security black ops type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's wild. All right, so I'll start with how clock management, like how me and Perry got to know each other, how we first met. So Perry's actually one of my best friend's little brothers. He's a couple years younger than me.
Okay.
And it's like I met Perry when he was like 7, I think, and we used to pick on Perry all the time. Just we were mean to him, but he's a little brother that just always
Shout out
tagged
to
along.
Perry.
He was that guy.
Yeah, he's like, I want to be part of the group, even if you're mean to me. And then, like, he slowly, like, as we got older, just became part of the crew. And now he's just one of us, And he jokes about how he stole his brother's friends. It cracks me up, though. Like, and now me and Perry really good friends. I mean, we talk all the time, and like we all play fantasy football. All our friends that we grew up together.
Hey, how
And
much?
we've been playing
How much
for-
does Perry's brother want to beat you guys to be like? And you guys got a fantasy podcast.
Oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, he got last place last year.
I know a few of those guys.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the only person to get last place twice in our league, and he's gotten it 3 times.
Oh, he's running away with
Damn.
it.
Yeah.
Tell him I got an open spot in my league.
But yeah, so we've been doing that for over a decade now, that league, and just like got super. I say I got obsessed with fantasy football. Like my friend, our group used to even joke about it. Like I'd be doing mock drafts like this time of year, and they're like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you making your own rankings right now and shit?" I'm like, I just gotta be ready. I gotta be ready.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What
fun.
year did you guys start doing it? And like, how many leagues were you starting with, and where are you at now?
Oh.
Like how many leagues you play?
So we started in 2009, and I was in that year. We had 1 league, and it was a 6-man league. Like who's in a fucking 6-man league?
So
and
basically dynasty because you got so many motherfuckers.
Oh, right, yeah, and then like the next year, like that year, we had a lot of fun. Next year, still just 1 league, but we upped it to an 8-man league. And then the next year, I was in 3 leagues, still the same people. All the same people in all of them. We are a 10-man league at this point, but we had a dynasty league. We had our normal league, which, that we called our normal league. That's our primary league that everyone wants to
I
win.
like it,
That's
the
the main
normal
one, yeah.
league.
Yeah, and then we had a auction league. The auction league folded after that year. We still got our dynasty league going strong, and we got now I'm probably in about I average around 9 leagues a year.
Yep. Okay.
Every year I say I'm cutting back to 5, and I always end up in 7 to 9.
You can't say no because you can't say
Yeah.
no sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's the Niner way. How about that?
Yeah.
We're just gonna make it a new thing, right? Real Niners playing 9 leagues, bro.
Oh, hey, why did the auction league fold? The draft was too long, or what? People blew their wad too early.
Yes, that's why.
Fucked
It
up
was
their
actually
season.
it was Perry's brother. Perry's brother spent his whole capital on 2 players, and then he was like, "This league sucks." I'm like, "No, you suck."
There's always that guy at an auction draft.
Yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
remember
Yeah.
he took Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon in the year that they both, like the year after both their big year.
Oh,
Oh yeah, overpaid too.
so 2019 then.
No.
Oh,
This
2018.
was like Melvin Gordon's second season.
Yeah.
So,
but
Oh,
The Jeff Fisher
2015.
year, right?
2015.
Todd Gurley.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was Gurley's
We all
rookie
got
year.
burned by that one.
Yeah, and so he was just so upset because he spent all his money on Gurley, who didn't pan out.
And he's like, "Fuck this league."
Yeah.
So tell
And then,
us.
like, a couple other people fell out after that, too, and so we're just like, screw it. This league's
One
going
and
away.
done. It was a one and done. Yeah.
I want to do another one. I haven't done one since.
Hey.
I think we might get one started now.
Right?
I think we
It's
might
a
get one
different, it's a whole other
started.
beast.
And then just over a year ago is when me and Perry finally started doing our podcast. So we've been doing that now for just about a year now, just over a year. And I love doing that. And then outside of that, I'm in the military, so I do that for a living. And I work.
I like how
here
you
in
say
Washington.
outside of fantasy because it is the dream. If we could do fantasy full time, you know what I mean? You'd be like, I work for the Department of Defense on the side. You know what I
Right,
mean?
that's what I tell people. I'm like, I do fantasy football for a living, and then I'm in the army to pay the bills and stuff.
Yeah. Just kill some time.
Right? Okay. So tell us how clock management got started. Like, I want to know what sparked the idea. Besides that, you were like all into fantasy. Like, was there a specific moment? You know what I mean?
So, yeah, actually, a dude. It started with a conversation with me and a guy who's not even in clock management. He wanted to start a podcast, and like me and him both got into listening to podcasts around that time. It was a couple years ago, and we were listening to a lot of these fantasy football podcasts out there. And then we were talking about how like some of them we listen to just because they're entertaining, but we don't like their fantasy advice. And I was like, these are some big names. I'm like, but they give some real bad advice. I was like, I'm like, bro, like, we could literally do a better job at this. He's like, dude, I've been thinking about starting a podcast. I'm like, let me know, I'm in. Like, I've never even considered it until he said this, and I'm like, but I'm down. Let's fucking do it. And then he's like, yeah, we're going to do it. And then we start talking to Perry, and Perry's like, yeah, I'm in too. So the three of us were going to do it. But I didn't want to steal that dude's thunder because it was his idea, So I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for him to tell me what the next step is. When are we going to do this? And then we kind of wait around, and then nothing ever happened with it. And then he actually dropped out of our fantasy football league. He's like, I'm starting to get out of fantasy football and stuff. He's like, I don't think
Fell
I'll
off
be
the
it.
map.
He's
Yeah,
like,
I'm like,
bro,
shit.
I'm changing my life. I'm turning a new leaf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so I'm like, well, shit. Now I don't feel bad. I'm not stealing his idea no more. I'm just going to roll with this. So I'm like, I'm starting a fantasy football podcast. And then Perry was like, dude, I want to do it with you. I'm like, let's fucking do it. And Perry actually came up with the name Clock Management, and then I made the logo for it. When you first told me the name, I was like, dude, I could think of a better name than that. And then I sat there for like 3 days trying to think of a better name.
It's tough.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I kind of like Clock Management. And I'm like, what? I'm like, instead of fighting Perry on this, I'm like, why don't I just try and come up with like a bomb ass logo for this shit?
Man, that's great. So check this out. You want to know the little origin story of how me and the Goo went about this thing?
Yeah, man.
So like, I've known the Goo since high school. Like, I remember like copying off of him in class type of shit.
Oh, so he's the smart one.
Hold on, that wasn't me. That wasn't me, bro.
Well, maybe that's why I
Promise
failed.
you.
You know what I mean?
Promise me, you're mistaken.
Well, check this out. So he sat next to me in Science 2, right? I say Science 2 because it was this, that's the second year of science, correct? Right? Science 2. I'm sitting next to him, and like, I would come through blowed as fuck. You know what I mean? And like reeking like Cheech and Chong in their heyday. You know what I mean? Like, and like he would be like, "Bro, you stink," and I like, "Oh shit!" And I was like a wee child that indulges should be. I was prepared, mind you. Child playmakers. I don't condone this, right? This is
not condone.
No, this is just like drinking. It's you have to be of age to indulge. So in our day, weed was completely illegal. So like I'm right, and all statute of limitation, I was selling the motherfucker. You know what I mean? So like, I'm in school, I'm in high school, and I figured get high scores, get everybody else high, they get high scores. That was my premise, right? And like, so anyways,
Makes sense.
I would sit next to the goo and he'd be like, you stink, and I'd bust a cologne out, cha 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 cha. Or sometimes I would even have the Bath and Body Works lotion so I smell like a female versus, so it's just a throw off
right?
method. You know what I mean?
Whatever it takes.
Right?
Anything other than the Swisher.
Right? And like, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I met the goo. And then, we were always cool. We always had mutual friends. Then we get into poker, and this is like life way after. We're well off in our 20s. I'm not well off, but I was probably like 23, 24. We were all getting in, huh? 25.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, mid to 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had like a nice couple year run where like we had. Shout out to Steven. You know what I'm saying? He has a crib, and we dubbed it the Poker Shack. Well, at least I did. And we'd be at the Poker Shack.
Bogie made he had like a 2-year deal with the Poker Shack.
Yeah.
Came in, came out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They banned me, you know what I mean? but yeah, we'd be at the Poker Shack, bro, and this is like 2009, 10, and 11. And I remember, bro, like we would be playing poker, and like I was only obsessed when it come to football with my Niners, and I wasn't even watching the games half the time because I would be hustling where I wouldn't even wake up in time on Sunday.
This guy I would never talk sports with this guy back then.
No, because
that's
listen,
fact. I'm being real.
No, and he is real because all I wanted to talk about was what we were doing, so I could have everybody honed in on my mind fuck methods. Let's not like they would be talking about football and fantasy, and I'd be like, hold on, shut the fuck up. Hold on, you're gonna call? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like,
yeah.
And then, so like, now fast forward, the goo gets married, you know what I'm saying? I get engaged. I got like several children, you know what I mean, that I know about, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like my bad joke that I know about. Oh, please, God.
You should watch it, bro. What are you doing?
I've been all over the world, so I know what you mean.
Right? And like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm well off into fantasy. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, people are getting advice from me, and they would always tell me, bro, you just talk about this shit all the time, bro. It's February, or bro, it's fucking April. Just get a podcast already. You know what I mean? And like the first person I thought of was the goo. You know what I mean? I hadn't spoke with him in like 4 or 5 years.
It'd been years since
It
poker.
had been years.
The game, yeah.
Since I came around the Poker Shack. And like
came back talking the language.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, bruh? I need my man's the goo, because he was always the one who was trying to use fantasy football talk to throw off everyone what was going on the poker table. You know what I mean?
Hey, so back then, none of these guys even wanted to play fantasy football. I started playing in like '98. Peyton
man.
Barry Sanders last year. That was my first year. That's how I remember it. So
Dang.
that's how long I've been playing since then. And so I've been trying to get friends to run a league forever, and it was hard. So
yeah, I know. I was one of those dudes who fought it, like, because I was a 49er fan, and that's all I cared about.
I was all about me and my brother.
I drafted Frank Gore with the #1 overall pick in our league the first year.
I would have loved you. I would have loved you, man.
and he's still playing.
Crazy, right? Crazy. Yep. So yeah, I was always the sports guy trying to get these guys in. So when he started finally talking fantasy, I said, "Oh, you know what you're talking about." Like,
so check this out.
Okay, we can talk.
Right?
I go about now. I gotta find him. You know what I mean? I gotta find him now. So, and we got the shout out the homeboy Pootie. I call Pootie. I go, hey, bruh, I need to find Joe, and he's like, Joe who? Because we know several Joes. I'm like, Joey, fool. Right? No, I didn't even say Joe. Right? I'm like, where's Joey at, fool? And he's like, I think I'll follow him. And I'm like, give me his number. All the while, I'm in this group thread called the Football Dads. Right? I'm in this group thread, and shout out to Lan, right? Because one day he goes hey man, my boy Joe at work said he used to play poker with you, and I go, what? And I'm like, what Joe? You mean? I go, Joe who? First I go, Joe who? And he goes, Joe said, I don't want to say his last name, but and I'm like, oh my God, give him my number, because that week I was trying to actively find him, and it was like the universe. So remember, I get your number, I call you, I'm like, what's up, Steamboat? Because you know the term steaming, right, Justin, on the poker table? Yeah, so he would get so steamy. I'd be like, oh, here comes the steamboat, right? Or like, woo woo, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I would troll him like that. So I call him like Steamboat. You know who this is?
Because they got ran over late in the game.
He turned into the steamroller.
They got ran over. Fourth quarter, you guys know what happened.
He turned into the steamroller. You know what I mean? No, but
yeah.
But see, and then so. I'm telling this, I'm giving him the whole spiel. I'm like, bro, I've been trying to find you, bro. We're gonna do this podcast, woo woo woo. And then like we went about like doing the pilot and all this and that. And then 2018 season started, and we were behind the book, or we're behind the money, or whatever you want to say. Just because the logistics of it wasn't really figured out yet. And also you had just moved. I remember you had just bought your first house. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, it was a transitional period. So we went through the season, I'll bring it up. He ends up beating me in the Super Bowl that year. And then it was like, motherfucker, we're doing this podcast. You know what I mean? And then what happened? And then he wins it again. Okay, yes. And then he wins it again.
Oh, man.
So he's the reigning two-time champion.
And I came in and won it the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, the fantasy gods don't like arrogance, okay?
Oh, man. I don't know about that, because I've won in our league, and I am the most arrogant person in our league.
Yes.
I will not let them forget every victory. It don't matter if it's a playoff game, regular season, you will know I beat you. And I'll let you know beforehand, too, that I'm going.
That's going to happen?
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
Yes, that's the best part of it. You got to... The mental aspect, you gotta psych them out. Give them material. Give them all that smoke.
Man, this last year in the last regular season game, the guy I was playing against, like, it didn't matter who won in this game because like it wanted to change the rankings for the playoffs at all.
So set.
Yeah, so I picked up Colin Kaepernick and started him at my quarterback, and I still beat him.
Yes.
Wow.
I love that. Glory plays. Gotta love a good glory play.
Right. I was starting him
after that.
Yeah, I was just starting him just to troll the dude, like expecting to lose, and then like the rest of my team just went off, and I'm like, oh, this is even better.
Oh, that's great. That's fucking great.
All right, well, check this out. It is free agency. Where do you guys want to start? Should we start with my man Nuke Skywalker?
Man, what were the Texans thinking with this trade?
Right?
Did you hear what the Michael Irvin
oh yeah,
or what he said?
Well, Nuke said he came out after that and said that that's being blown out of proportion.
Because but you know what he's doing?
Yeah,
you fucked up, Nuke. You shouldn't have told me that. I'm telling everyone.
But yeah, exactly. I noticed Nuke didn't deny that it happened.
Yes, he didn't. Dude, Michael Irvin's the best because he's forever on one, bro. Like, he is so amped up from the 90s cocaine that, like, he's just, like, so stimulated. He's so fucking stimulated, bro.
Spicy.
Oh,
yes,
man.
he just wants to spill the beans. He's just ready, bro. Like, he's the guy, if you're trying to think of a name for your kid, or how about this? If you're trying to think of a team you're about to go to in free agency, if you want to like figure out who's the leak in your circle, you just tell Michael Irvin, "Hey, bro, I might go here," and then the news will pop out, and you're like, "Damn it, Mike, you're the leak." You know what I mean? Because he's the guy.
He's the leak too. I'm going to tell everyone.
Man, Stephon Diggs should have told him that he wanted out of there. I mean, the way he likes to put that out there, that
But no one wants to hear Stephon Diggs. That's the thing. Okay, before we get to Stephon Diggs, right? This Nuke Skywalker thing. You know what's crazy is Kyler Murray was actively going to like CeeDee Lamb's pro day, you know, just to show everyone, yo, I need my mans. And then CeeDee Lamb was drawing all the DeAndre Hopkins comparisons. Matter of fact, shout out the Fantasy Rapper, because I had him on, and when I had him on, I was talking about how I liked CeeDee Lamb's game, like his game. I likened it to Michael Thomas. And then he goes, no, I liken it to DeAndre Hopkins. And I was like, ooh, that's, you know, when someone says something that I agree with.
That clicks.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you're right. And then, lo and behold, they trade for the actual DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, they're like, screw the comp. We'll just bring him in.
Yeah.
So they're passing on receiver now? If they still go get one of him.
They got to get linemen.
They're getting O-line.
Oh,
O-line.
yeah.
They got him now, right?
Shout out to Jordan Love, Cardinal fan to the fullest. He got them mocked. He mocked them picking up a lineman.
Yeah, I agree with that too, man. Jordan Love, that dude, that kid, man, he is a guru when it comes. No offense.
Hey.
When it comes to
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, to these rookies though. This dude, he kills it. He knows everything about these teams and their needs, and he's great at this, man. I give him a hard time, but the dude knows what he's talking about.
Isn't Jordan Love a quarterback coming out? Or I know there's
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's his twin
another
brother.
guy, though.
No, there's a rider over at Rum Boys.
Okay, I knew you weren't talking about the quarterback.
Yeah, he goes by J Love on Rum Boys, so it helped.
Yep,
we
I see
usually
that.
call him J Love. It alleviates the confusion.
Yeah, okay, I'm not the first.
I
Yeah,
thought
no,
we were
but
talking
Houston's
about the
tripping,
actual
though, but-
quarterback.
Yep. Hey, Houston, though, Deshaun Watson might play a little freer without having that one, such heavy personality over there demanding, 50% of the targets probably. He wants, it's 10 to 14 every day.
Yeah.
Might be able to play a little freer, open up things. I don't know.
You want to know a cool stat?
I could tell you it means less fantasy points, though.
How about this? I'll tell you a cool stat. It's not an official stat because it's been a while that the goo knows that I'll be having these random stats, but in my recollection, DeAndre Hopkins, he led the league in second half production, and he was bottom 12 in first half production, right? Because I bet you this, Bill O'Brien, he would be in the halftime and be like, I think we need to throw to DeAndre more. You know what I mean? Like, dumbass.
He had an epiphany.
Yes,
Yeah,
every
but it always
time.
took the halftime before he had it.
Yes, and this is the real thing. It's like, yo, first of all, his name is Nuke Skywalker. He has the Force, and he has the dark side in him, right?
Bro,
and
I don't know, like, I can't confirm your stat, but I believe it because,
Yes.
like, I remember a few years ago, I picked up Hopkins when he was, like, nobody, and one of my buddies, I remember we were talking, and he's like, dude, I hate you with fucking Hopkins because this dude, he's the king of garbage time. The second half, they're losing by 30 points, and he gets 3 touchdowns.
Yep, 3 or 4 catches on the last drive.
shout out to Garbage Time,
Hey, it counts all the same, but yeah. no.
Right? I'm like, no, that's money time for me.
right? All right, so
What do you think about David Johnson though coming back the other way? Does that mean anything for them? Is he going to be rejuvenated or?
So
I
I think
think-
it means a lot for David Johnson. Like, I might pick him up in a draft depending on where he's going, where his ADP
I say
comes
fifth
to.
round.
Huh?
I could put him 5th round, 4th, 5th round, 12 team.
I want him lower than that.
He's coming up higher.
I know that's the
You think so?
problem, though.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I'm
true.
not taking him higher than that. If he were to fall down the rankings, I'm grabbing him. But I'm not grabbing him that high because I'm not keeping him the full season. I'm trading him because I don't think he's staying healthy. He's going to come out hot, and then I want to get rid of him.
All right, so check this out. Here's my thing with DJ going there. I think his receiving chops are going to be utilized more because they figure we have someone like Duke Johnson, the Duke of Earl sandwich, right? As I like to call him. they got, so they're gonna have a more passing attack, especially with that bad line, and on top of that, being my bad, Deshaun Watson. When you get down there into the 5, he's calling his own number half the time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I think if I can get him in the 4th or 5th round, DJ, I would be good with that. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'll just never own him and feel good about playing against him.
Yeah, man, I could see the 5th. I want to have a solid stable going, but I'm not taking him in the 4th. I'll let someone else fall on that grenade, because second, he's not taking you to a championship.
I don't know. Bill O'Brien's kind of he's like a meathead coach. He's gonna run, and it's not very creative of an offense, and then just hope Watson saves him. So he might be a glorified Lamar Miller, which you don't take before the 5th round.
Hey, Lamar Miller,
and
that name alone though you're gonna be people that bite.
Yeah, and I don't see him lasting the full season too. His health is an issue.
Yeah.
When we get closer to the season, I got a doctor that comes on our show, and he's going to go through injuries. He actually talked me out of Cam Newton this last year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I was super thankful to him, because I was going to draft Cam Newton in our
I was so
league.
off Cam Newton. It's funny because I was like, he has a Liz Frank. I kept saying it. Remember, Goo? I was like, I even had Cam Newton. First of all, I don't have CMC anywhere, so I was just trying to troll the Goo because he's the CMC truther, and I was like, Cam Newton's all busted up. He's gonna fuck everything off for CMC, right? I was totally wrong, but I was really saying it to troll him because I was just so off Cam Newton, bro. Like, it was just like, and I mean, it's he's what, 6'5", 240, whatever, 235. You know what I mean? Like, he's taking hits. It's kind of circa Andrew Luck behind a bad line. But in this case, Cam Newton...
But he brings it on himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, in this case, Cam Newton is actually running out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where, injuries and, and these doctors, when they talk about these injuries, you got to pay attention to that shit, man, because they're actual doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like, he was talking, he's like, with the injuries that that have happened, like, they're not on the same body part. He's like, but you can see, like, because he had this injury, he wasn't, like, his body wasn't what was trying to correct for that injury, and that's why he then injured this body part, and then he injured his back. He's like, and they're all related, even though they don't look like it. He's like, there's no way that he's going to finish this season. I was like, oh, shoot.
And here's another
to the bank.
And he is talking about he's not going to have the same amount of strength throwing the ball too.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So so we're about to move on. I want to move on to Stephon Diggs, but one more point I want to make about my man DJ, who's also my fellow Sagittarius. So that's probably the only thing why I even would draft him, because I'm just weird like that with intangibles, right? Shout out to DJ. But one thing with DJ is or even Lamar Miller. Remember you said he'll be a better Lamar Miller? Lamar Miller had...
glorified Lamar Miller.
Glorified. He had our man, Nuke Skywalker, taking the top off. You know what I mean? 6-man boxes on average. That's not going to happen. I think they got that 2nd round pick from the Cardinals. They're going to try to get one of these receivers, because it is a deep receiver
they signed
class.
Randall Cobb today.
Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
They might be, Bill O'Brien.
So you mean
we're good.
Randall Cobb?
He's like, who needs Hopkins when you got Randall Cobb?
Don't even trip. We got DJ Randall Cobb and a 2nd round pick.
You know what? Jamaicans. Pew pew pew.
Man.
Damn. Okay. Stephon Diggs. He's a crybaby ass motherfucker. He finally gets his way and gets traded. But
goes
it's almost
to the only team that runs the ball more.
Right? But see, here's the Bogart theory. It makes sense to me. I can remember when Antonio Brown was traded to the Bills, and Antonio Brown was like, fuck that.
You mean traded to the Bills?
Yes. Traded to the Bills. My bad. You know what? That's why I love you, Goo.
I don't think it actually happened. It was just a rumor, correct? Or
No, it was real. It was real.
Maybe.
It was real. He got traded there. He refused to go there. And, obviously, it has to be an agreement with the player. And then the Raiders pounced on it.
I remember that part.
So, this is why... This is because it all happened in the morning. Remember, Antonio Brown's like, it's fake news.
I couldn't remember who it was, but yeah, I remember he got traded and refused to play for that team.
Yep, and it was the Bills. And the guru will vouch for this. I always called Antonio Brown the extremely poor man's Antonio Brown. You know what I mean?
You mean Stephon Diggs, right?
Yes, that's what I meant. Who did I say?
You said Antonio Brown.
Oh, yeah. Bud Light, give me money.
I think Bogie. It's taken a good year at least, but I'm pretty sharp on it.
Bud Light, give me money, right? Anyways, so yes.
I'll rip to that, yep.
Right, exactly. This motherfucker, Stephon Diggs, is the extremely poor... I said Antonio Brown's the poor man's Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
That's so great.
That's what you said, bro.
He really is, though, right? I'll tell you this much. If Antonio Brown How about this? If Antonio Brown ever gets back into the league, he will be the poor man's version of Antonio Brown. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
I like that now.
Stephon Diggs, I always referred to him as the poor man's version of Antonio Brown, and they finally got that, but they had to pay up the ass to get him. You know what I mean? And for anybody who knows me, right? Anybody who knows me, I love my man, Downtown John Brown. And Downtown John Brown, this is so great for him. You're going to have Stephon Diggs there taking number one coverage. I love my man, Downtown John Brown. That's who I think it helps. Because he already has showed rapport with my man, Josh Allen the Stallion. The white Cam Newton himself. God damn it.
We had about 20 of those segments this year.
I do. I do agree with. I think this does help John Brown fantasy outlook.
You heard it, Playmakers. Justin from Clock Management.
For Diggs, though. Diggs, I'm not taking Diggs this year.
No, it hurts him.
All right, but
I was never a
the thing
Diggs
with
guy.
John Brown though is he's one of those big boom or bust wide receivers. Like he's going to get you 2 touchdowns in a game. And then he's not going to have a catch in that game.
Exactly.
He's my favorite WR4, WR3 that'll bring you a WR1 finish, and you just got to know when to start him. And
Yep.
oh yeah, and the guru will tell you
every week, if possible.
Bro, come on, I only start my man Downtown John Brown whenever it's viable. And he hates it. He hates it.
No bye weeks.
No.
All right, well, hey, we've come this far when we haven't brought up the GOAT yet, going to Tampa.
Okay. Ooh, let's talk about it.
Is everyone tired of that already?
No, not at all. So for those of you who don't know, Guru, let them know what happened. What has transpired in the NFL?
Well, Tom Brady's going to Tampa now. TB's going to TB.
Woo!
TB2 TB.
What do you think of that? What do you think? Give me your 2 cents.
Okay, you got Mike Evans, right? Big, gigantic motherfucker, right? Out wide. Also could be utilized as a 50-50 ball catching motherfucker in the red zone. Then you got O.J. Howard, athletic as fuck. Probably going to take a back seat because Cameron Brate's white. You know what I'm saying? So Tom Brady be like, I fuck with him. You know what I mean? But either way, you could run 2 tight end sets, and Cameron Brate's a great blocker. So, you know what I'm saying? Just throwing that out there. Then you got my man, Chris Godwin. For God's sakes, he has God and win in his name. Enough said, right? Now you throw Tom Brady at the helm. And maybe perhaps they go ahead and get one of these young running backs. Maybe a Swift. Or a fucking, or what did Jay Love was projecting Swift and Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Tool Time. He was projecting all those guys to be 2nd round picks. So they might fuck around and end up with one of those guys. If they don't end up with one of those guys, motherfucking Ronald Jones, he might be like, the evil stepchild of James White. Maybe not the poor man's James White, but he's definitely more explosive in the open field with those short dump off passes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's actually interesting to me with Brady going there.
And Brady does dump it off compared to Winston, who, like, if there's any doubt, just downfield.
Yes, like
yeah,
Brady,
I read a stat about Winston. He threw for it was like the stat was air yards. He threw for like 1,600 more air yards total over the course of the year than Tom Brady. So I mean, that just means he's stretching the field more. So
yeah,
we're not gonna see that this year.
It's a Bruce Arians
stretching the field, flipping the field with those interceptions.
Exactly, but there'll probably be 20 less interceptions coming up this year, though.
I mean, also too, because Bruce Arians, he's no risk it, no biscuit. He loves going down the field, and I think TB12's gonna come in there and be like, "Hey, yo, we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to tailor this thing just a bit." You know what I mean? And it's also interesting because
absolutely.
I mean, Brady, they're gonna be able to sustain drives now. There might not be such a need to stretch the field. You know what I mean? Maybe you could own time of possession, and then your defense in Tampa Bay, which actually finished 5th in DVOA. You know what I mean? Like fifth overall. Like that's incredible. They were number 1 against the run in a gang of metrics. I love Tampa Bay's defense. You got Todd Bowles over there. He's a corpse-looking man. You know what I mean?
They got the sack king.
Yeah,
Shaq
Barrett.
Barrett?
No, Shaq Barrett. Yeah, sorry, wrong Shaq.
They brought back, a lot of Shaqs now. They brought back JPP. They got the young kid Devin White on defense. They're good over there. Levante David's still there.
Yep.
Here's what I want, though. Here's what I want. I want AB to get reinstated. I want AB to go to Tampa on a 1-year deal to play.
So we can own no Chris Godwin or Mike Evans comfortably.
Fuck it all up.
Just blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, no one will know what to do.
I don't want that.
In any of those cases, no matter what it is, I'm drafting Godwin there, though.
Yeah.
Because first of all, AB, lasts for a week, 2 weeks, and he's out the NFL again.
He's throwing bags of dicks at bitches. He's not going to be around.
No.
I'm hopeful.
Even if he does, I mean, he won't last. He can't. He just can't allow himself to be like decent enough of a human being to last in the NFL. Which isn't much. Ask Kareem Hunt.
No. Hey, you never know.
Shout out to Kareem Hunt. I just want to apologize because Kareem Hunt bought a bag. He bought a bad bag of weed off me one time. Fuck this whole career up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kareem Hunt.
That's your fault.
It's all my fault.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think bringing Brady there. That first of all, Godwin's going to kill it. The slot receiver there with Brady. I mean, he's a way better receiver than anyone they had in New England last year.
And he has God and win in his name.
You can't lose.
The most important factor of all.
Of course.
The intangibles.
Mike Evans, this hurts him quite a bit because he's a down the field, like he stretches that field. And
he's going to take the top off.
And Brady can't get that ball down that field.
Nope. Maybe being closer to the southern hemisphere, right? And maybe the nice weather. Maybe Brady's like 40-something and he's in Florida and he feels more comfortable, like a retiree. Maybe like
the warmer weather should make the air a little bit lighter.
Yeah, because
he should be able to throw that ball a little bit further. Especially, I mean, you could just put less air in it. He's done that before, so
it's always an option.
Oh yeah, and you know what? He's in Florida where all the guys go to retire, right? Or like the senior citizens go there. In NFL, he is a senior citizen. You know what I mean? He got his NFL AARP card with it, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
right? But first of all, he has Chris Godwin. He has Godwin in his name. That's all I gotta say, goddammit.
He wants to play in some sunny weather. Let's be honest. He doesn't want to play in that cold-ass New England no more.
Godwin in his name.
Am I wrong, or is Florida, isn't that where the owner got busted? The Kraft?
Oh yeah, with them whores. Shout out to Robert Kraft.
At the spot.
Yeah. At the Kick It.
He was trying to get a sensual massage. You know what I mean?
Tom Brady actually did a video out. He was in some TV show where he came walking out of that same place.
Oh shit! I love Brady for that.
Now he just wants to live there now.
Hey, you know what?
He's chilling. He likes the area.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on, fellas. Okay, all right.
He wants to get that. It's the end of his career, and he just wants to have a happy ending.
So I like that. Oh, Justin from Clock Management. God damn it.
Don't have to play in the snow.
That was great. Okay, so now I got my Niner glasses on, right? Okay. Now, it's all fun and games when we talk about Tom Brady and going to Tampa Bay because of fantasy. Yeah, Chris Godwin got it and winning his name. All that shit. But in reality talk, fuck Tom Brady. Fuck the Bucks. We already had to deal with Breeze. Fuck them all. This NFC shit is ours. We're going to get it. Fuck that. Okay.
Is this wrestler Bogie?
No, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
That was Niner Bogie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit! There you are.
Yeah, that was Niner Bogie. You know what I'm saying? The Niner Bogie, you know what I'm saying, had to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Friend of the show. You know what I mean?
You had to get that out, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
know what
had
I'm
to
saying?
come out. Had to.
Okay, so there's also other interesting moves that was made. Austin Hooper, he goes to Cleveland, right? This move to me isn't that interesting for Austin Hooper. And besides, because you have Kevin Stefanski there.
He got paid. Shit.
Yeah, but I'm saying system-wise, Kevin Stefanski's there. We've seen him come from Minnesota, where he utilized both Kyle Rudolph mainly in the red zone. Then what's his name, Irv Smith, and that was between the 20s. If you would have combined those guys together, they would have had a hell of a tight end outing, right? But now he's in Cleveland, and he had David Njoku. And if you remember, Goo, I hit you. And I was talking about how Njoku might be one of those guys. Late. But then they go in and sign Austin Hooper, right? And that Kevin Stefanski system is a circa Gary Kubiak system. They religiously run 2 tight end sets. You know what I mean? What's that? 12 personnel? It's been a little while. Am I correct on that? Yes.
I believe so.
Right? They religiously run 12 personnel. So it's going to be hard to call that. But the real shit that makes me pay attention is the fact that Austin Hooper leaves and they go ahead and trade for my man Hayden Hurst Helmsley. He stopped wrestling. Now he's with the Falcons. And do you remember, Goo, when I was on Austin Hooper early? Because
Vaguely.
well, me too. I'm speaking in hindsight to try to act like I was smart, right? But Dirk Cutter's system religiously feeds the tight end. Let's go back to Dirk Cutter in Atlanta.
So you're fading Austin Hooper. That's what I'm understanding.
Yes, but
love it.
But I'm paying attention to Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, we love it. It's on Atlanta.
Yeah, but with Dirk Cutter. Dirk Cutter's system. We've seen Dirk Cutter with Tampa Bay. He had O.J. Howard, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. He had Cameron Brate. All those guys ate at one time or another. Even Dirk Cutter's time with Atlanta under Mike Smith. Was that his name? Remember Mike Smith? He had Tony Gonzalez. Granted, it was Tony Gonzalez. But still, that system feeds the tight end. That's why I was even off Julio Jones last season. And I was like, Austin Hooper's going to eat into his production. So now they bring over Hayden Hurst, who's actually a specimen. I like Hayden Hurst because with this trade. I mean, not this trade. With this Austin Hooper absence, they brought in and they traded for him. So that means when you trade for a guy, you automatically assume they're going to utilize him a lot. And in this system with Dirk Cutter, Hayden Hurst is going to be a late round darling. God fucking damn it.
No, I think that's, for sure. But I think he's going to come up the draft boards now that he's there in Atlanta.
You
I
think?
think he's going to sneak into people's top 10 tight ends.
You know what, Justin? We gotta cut this part out then.
He'll be this year's Vance McDonald.
Oh God!
Oh, don't put that on my man Triple
Number
H.
10. He'll be like right at number 10.
Vance McDonald's still here, so.
I had Vance yeah.
You were the Vance truther.
Every team.
Love
I did the
it.
Vance dance.
Hey, Vance will make you dance. Vance will make you dance.
Okay,
Yeah,
what else?
Wasn't
So what
the
else?
dance you want to do though?
No, he got cut by like week 3 or 4.
So what else is interesting to you guys? I love.
I cut Vance week 2 and picked up OJ Howard,
Oh, there you go.
and then I cut OJ Howard
who'd you
week
pick?
3.
Yeah, so who'd you pick up after that?
I don't even remember. It's a blur after that.
Okay, Nick Foles. Nick Foles got traded to the Bears, bro.
Oh. You know what? You know what that
You gonna
screams?
beat out Mitch?
No, I think that screams. First of all, anybody who knows me knows my stance on Nick Foles. Nick Foles is the greatest backup. You know what I mean? He's the greatest backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, they were talking about getting Cam Newton, and they went with Nick Foles. I feel like they didn't want someone who's going to beat Mitch Trubisky for his job. They want someone who he can compete with and win. To build
exactly,
his confidence.
exactly, my brother. Check this out. I'm glad you pointed it out because there's a correlation here. You have Matt Nagy, who was there when Foles backed up Alex Smith in Kansas City. Then you have what's his name, John DeFilippo, who just got brought in. I'm not sure if I don't think he's the OC. Maybe he's the OC. I'm not sure, but he's under the coaching staff now. And he was there in Philly. He was also there with the Jacksonville Jaguars last season. So there's that correlation. You know what I mean? So it makes sense to bring in Nick Foles. Plus, Nick Foles is a Christian. He just be praying, please, God, let me start. Just, you know what I mean? Let something happen. And he always gets in the game. You know what I mean? And Mitchell Trubisky showed plenty of flashes. I mean, I'm not giving up on Mitchell Trubisky if I'm the Bears because they gave up so much goddamn capital to get him. You know what I mean? It's like this. He deserves one more shot. And I think Matt Nagy and that GM, their jobs kind of ride on Mitchell Trubisky's success. So they're doing everything they can to, you know what I mean?
Except getting him weapons.
Yeah. Well, I love Allen Robinson, though. You're right, though. Allen Robinson's really all it is, huh?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They got
Miller.
Al.
Yeah,
Oh, Anthony Miller. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Anthony Miller. I forgot. I love Anthony Miller.
yeah. No, Mitch. So what we're saying is Foles will be started by week 6. That's what I'm hearing.
I wouldn't be shocked.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
So what about the Teddy? Okay, where do you guys think Cam will go then? Because, you know, we just seen Teddy Bridgewater got picked up by the Panthers. So
Yeah,
where is
who
Cam
was it?
Newton?
The Chargers said they're not looking to get a quarterback.
They're so ready to roll out T-Mobile next year.
But
Yeah.
Draft a young guy probably.
well, Anthony Lynn, he was literally there in Buffalo with Tyrod Taylor's, or as I like to call him, Ramrod. They got so he knows Ramrod Taylor, you know what I mean? And like, it would make sense that they would bring in Cam Newton, but I think behind that line, it's just a bad investment because Phillip Rivers was getting beat up behind that line. You can't bring in an injured Cam Newton coming off of surgery and thinking, you know what I mean? I mean, plus Cam Newton's, he's gonna be doing the dab. He's gonna be demanding hell of a big ass bag. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
but
He'll
also,
want 30. He's gonna say, "I need 30 a year."
so where do you think Cam goes? Do you think Cam is do you think they end up keeping him as a backup or make it a quarterback competition there? Like, I mean, they obviously
Where?
don't want him in Carolina. I mean, if no one wants him, maybe he goes to Miami.
But that's the problem with him staying in. Like, he's going to win that quarterback competition in practice because he's the better quarterback. But it's like, can he stay healthy when when it's not practice and he's getting hit? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cam Newton's gonna come out wearing 2 gloves, talking about, look, Teddy, I got 2 gloves too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Why does Teddy Bridgewater wear gloves?
New England's still looking for a quarterback.
Ooh. You know,
Cam or Jameis, who gets signed first?
I want Jameis Winston to
traded
go to
for
New
him.
England.
I think if I'm a GM, Jameis, and
I think we was telling Bogie. I think New England might be looking at him. Just come bring him in. Why not?
just basically a trade.
Why not? You pay him 20 maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe 30.
they would basically
Man, I would
trade
love
for him
that
and pick
because
up.
then,
Go ahead.
like, Brady would be so upset, like when
They did the switcheroo.
Jameis Winston goes to his old team and then he's doing better than him there. Oh god.
Oh, dial it
Bring
up.
that in just a little bit.
Oh man, dial it up.
I feel like Belichick would like end up murdering him.
For real,
Like,
right?
it would just drive him crazy. Just him just throwing the ball down the field. He'd be like, "What are you doing?"
So check this out, Justin. Over here on the Real Fantasy Playmakers, we refer to Jameis Winston. We don't call him famous Jameis. We call him infamous Winston, right?
You call him what?
Infamous Winston.
Yeah.
Because
Man.
he's fucking infamous for all the shit he does, right? And like, I also have this theory that he's not that smart, right? His IQ's pretty low. And like, do you remember, did you notice that he got LASIK surgery done?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he figured out wearing the glasses, people aren't fooled anymore. He used to think that people thought the glasses made him look smart. You know what I mean? So it's like, and the reason I say all this jokingly because it's almost like he doesn't care about the score, or he can't even tell what score means what, because he just throws picks, sixes.
Every down is a game of flyers up to Jameis Winston.
Yes, exactly. You know what I
He's
mean?
just like, all right, let's see who gets this. And he's been fortunate that he has great receivers there who most of the time do, but I mean, also sometimes, the other team does. So, but that, like, I think the LASIK eye surgery was that. I think that was his agent. Like, dude, this is what we're gonna do. You just threw 30 interceptions, so you're gonna go get LASIK surgery, so that some GM out there is gonna be like, oh, he's all better now. Let's pay him a truckload of money.
Right. That's hey, I couldn't have said it better, because I mean, he's the type of dude who needs PR to control his actions. I mean, he's the guy who jumped into Uber and tried to expose himself to the Uber driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, who was the Uber driver though? We gotta give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's true. What did she have?
I don't know what the situation
was. She
was.
exposed? Like, you know what I mean? Was she sexy? Yeah, you're right. There's
Yeah, was she naked? Like, I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to fit in.
right? Was she trying? I heard this naked Uber thing could have took off before this Corona. So you know what I mean? Like,
I guarantee you get a 5-star rating.
right? All right, so
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
So let's talk about some of these defensive moves, right? So, as it pertains to fantasy, I love that Chris Harris and Lynn Duval, what's his name? Linval Joseph. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Linval Joseph, Chris Harris, they just joined the Chargers. They're joining Casey Hayward, Derwin James, Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa. That fucking DST is going to be incredible in late rounds. I could see myself fucking with them with my last pick.
I want them to get a quarterback, though, just to so I know that the quarterback's going to be able to control that. I mean,
You're right.
Clock management,
You're right.
Keep that defense off the field. That's my only fear with them. Like, they got a stacked defense.
Yeah, they do. And
They got to draft a quarterback. They're for sure. They have to.
who do you got them connected to, Goo?
I mean, I can't speculate on the draft as to who they're going to pick there, but there's a few. They're going to go grab one of them for sure. They would love to go get a Tua. They would love to go get who's the other guy? Herbert's. Is he like the consensus guy? The third, like
Yeah,
third guy
Herbert's generally the third pick.
Yeah.
For quarterback.
I don't know how they feel, but I mean, they got to grab one and just let him sit. Let Tyrod Taylor just play until you let the run kid get out there. So that's you're going into a new building. You got to have the faith of the franchise in place. So they're going to take a quarterback.
Yeah. I hope so. I'm just starting to get into like my fantasy analysis for the draft picks because we were going to be doing that this week, but with all the free agency stuff, we're like, all right, we're pushing that back a week, and we're just strictly free agency.
Yep. We needed it. The whole world shut down.
Right? Tom Brady trying to help us out by changing the news cycle.
Right?
We needed this, Amari Cooper got $100 million. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Dak back there, Amari, Zeke. They brought back all three. I didn't think they were going to do it.
But they paid Amari fast. Dak, you're gonna have to hold up. We're gonna talk some more.
With the Randall Cobb news, I am so on board with Michael Gallup.
Yes, thank you. I've been trying, man. So I've been saying for a long time that, like back when Amari Cooper was a Raider, every year I would draft Michael Crabtree because Amari Cooper would go in like the third, fourth round. Crabtree would go in like the sixth, seventh round, and at the end of the year, Crabtree would finish with like 2 or 3 more fantasy points than Amari Cooper. And so whichever team Amari Cooper is on, I want that number 2 wide receiver.
I like that.
Gallup showed he was the guy last year. Yeah, he flashed. He really flashed. So
yeah, he showed he can handle it.
Yeah, man. Hey, so let's go back to my segment, paranoia or precautious. Am I paranoid to pick up Amari Cooper in fantasy, knowing that his numbers could be skewed by the end of the year because he has those 200-yard game outings or he has those 160-yard game outings, and then his per game basis average is like 60 to 70 yards? Am I paranoid to curve him completely and not draft him because he will be like a 3rd round, 4th round value, and I could probably go and get someone else in that place like possibly a Deebo Samuel, or maybe even later on just wait and get Michael Gallup? Is that paranoid or precautious?
I'll let you go first on this one, Guru.
You're precautious on that one. There's value to be had, so you're not paranoid. He does have that injury history. He gets beat up every year. Seems to play, but yeah, I'm not mad at you for that one.
So
yeah, man. Our last episode we just did was our 2 episodes ago. We just did our busts, and I had Amari Cooper as one of my busts for this season.
Oh yeah.
Like his injury history, his just known to vanish in a game. Like he puts up good fantasy numbers at the end of the year. So like if you just look at his end of the year stats, you're like, oh, he's good. But that playoff game gonna come where he gets you 0 points, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, Amari?"
So maybe keep Amari on your you're ready to trade go block, right?
And if you do get him, just be ready to trade him after one of those big weeks,
right? And
cash out
and go as the Guru would say, cash out on him. Yeah.
Full on Nick Foles, get that big contract off that big game.
Okay, so let's talk about
the Bogie special right there.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about some of these free agents that are still floating around, like a Melvin Gordon. You know what I mean? Or even I even heard rumors about Todd Gurley being cut. You know, I don't see,
or traded. They're saying traded now.
But cutting him would be ridiculous because it's like it would be a $30 million cap hit. Yeah, right. But like,
who's gonna trade for him though, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but everyone was saying the same thing about DJ.
Holy shit!
They got
point.
Hopkins for him.
Damn, good point. So do you think Melvin Gordon? I so want him to go to Tampa Bay, and then to make him fantasy relevant. I think if he goes to Tampa Bay, his skill set would fit there.
No, I mean I love that. I just don't I don't know if they're gonna pay him. But I do love that.
I think after his whole holdout fiasco, I don't see him demanding too much. I see him getting like a $4 or $5 million a year contract, maybe 2 years.
So I actually right now my prediction is I think he's gonna go to the Lions.
Oh damn!
Kerryon Johnson hasn't been able to stay healthy and like show that he can be that 3-down back, and so I think they'd like to bring in Melvin Gordon to pair with Kerryon Johnson.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a bold call. And you know what's funny is Kerryon Johnson is basically the injured poor man's version of Melvin Gordon, because Melvin Gordon...
Yeah, Melvin Gordon is like what we all hoped for Kerryon Johnson to become.
Yeah, and also Melvin Gordon, he's never played 16 games himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so get both them together and they might be able to pull out 16 games between them.
Looking at a team, Denver might do some dumb shit and just try to get him. The division team.
Wow, and they kind of need that.
Nobody.
Yeah, you're right. Philip Lindsay
they just
and
lost Chris Harris too.
Right, they're gonna cut Flacco. You know, they ain't gonna pay nobody, so they might just like say fuck it.
Bro, you
guys
aren't talking about one of the biggest underrated irrelevant signings. My man Jeff Driscoll. He got to the Broncos.
Patricia signed like 4 Patriots. He's just trying to bring the Patriot culture over there.
Oh yeah, man, Patricia.
That's all he's done so far. It's kind of we'll see.
That's an extinct culture.
Yeah, that's all he knows.
Damn.
So it was fun for Matt Patricia, but it was probably his last year.
Dude, we're gonna see if the Patriots.
If he gets Melvin Gordon there, Melvin Gordon might bail his career out.
I would like to see that. Yeah, that means he needs to go somewhere. I wanted him to go to Houston, but you know they.
Yeah, that was my like dream landing spot.
Yeah, I think it made sense.
I mean, they do still need a running back, so.
You know what's crazy is Houston.
I think they got Alfred Blue as their backup, so they're good.
Bro, Houston.
I figured he was an XFL by now.
If Bill O'Brien wasn't such a Belichick ripoff, you know what I mean, as far as players, you know, being like clean off the field, he might have traded for Kareem Hunt, who had a second-round tender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, instead,
that's where I wanted Kareem Hunt to go until that whole second-round tender thing.
Yeah, but Houston just gave a second round up to bring in David Johnson and gave up Nuke Skywalker. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, they could have only given up one of those things and took on the full contract.
For real. Like, they could have brought Kareem Hunt and gave him some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even less money than what they're giving. They took on with DJ.
And check us out, Justin. Guru knows I'm an extreme Nick Chubb truther. As Guru would say, I get a chub for Chubb. Pause. Right? And I would have loved.
Chubby.
Right? I would have loved goddamn Kareem Hunt to get traded away somewhere just to get the fuck away from my goddamn Nick Chubb.
Perry is a huge Nick Chubb truther, and he would get so upset with me because I keep saying, like, I'm like, man, Kareem Hunt there, that's going to kill some of his value. You're going to be disappointed for where you're drafting this dude at.
Okay, this is a perfect segue. Check this out. I love Nick Chubb. Mind you, that doesn't sound like anything new, right? Jamaicans. I love Nick Chubb. Right?
Yeah.
And what they did in free agency is bring over Jack Conklin. Is that his name? Am I saying it right? Conklin? I just paused. Is that his
Conklin,
name?
yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Goo. Thank you, my esteemed colleague, the Goo. Right? They brought him over to bolster that line. You know what I mean? They're bringing over the Kevin Stefanski zone run system. It's essentially the Gary Kubiak system, which is essentially the Mike Shanahan system, which is the Shanahan system that has his thumbprint all over the league. I love that they're bringing this to Cleveland for my man Nick Chubb, the chubby bastard, the chubby one. Because, god damn it, I'm a Nick Chubb truther, and everything they've been doing is to bolster this run game. Oh, I love Nick Chubb. Like, he's a winner in free agency right now.
No, except for the fact that Kareem Hunt is still there.
Yeah, but this is, okay, to your point, it makes Kareem Hunt a must-have if you are a Nick Chubb truther. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. If you could get both of them, I just worry about where people draft. Like, man, I don't want to be paying for a handcuff if I'm paying up for them.
10th round. 10th round?
Yeah.
10th round's okay.
Yeah, but so I would rather get myself. I would rather get Dalvin Cook
and
then
Alexander
Madison at the very end of the draft.
Is that
his role is not like Kareem Hunt, so you're not threatened by Alexander Madison.
No,
but he's got a role. So
and then if Cook goes down, Madison is your dude.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
You know what? That's a great call. You know what? You know what's dope is I remember bringing that up when we were on live with Robbie and them. Shout out to Robbie and the Rum Boys. I know you're also under the Rum Boys monarchy. And when we were on
we're
live,
part of the umbrella,
right? And I remember I had asked you about Alexander Madison because I am a fan of the show, of clock management. Once again, Playmakers, fuck with clock management on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter at Management Clock and follow them on IG on goddamn clock management. And that's clock management, not minus the goddamn, right? But I bring this up because Alexander Madison intros your show. He introduces your whole joint. So I was I brought that up thinking you might be partial to him because of that. But
little bit.
But it's phenomenal sense for all you playmakers out there. Don't be afraid to get you some Dalvin Cook because if you have the 4th or 5th pick overall or a top 5 pick, right? Let's say redraft, top 5 pick, Dalvin Cook's there. Don't be afraid to grab him if CMC's already off the board, right? If
CMC's off the board, if you're
grabbing some Dalvin Cook, and just know that you're gonna have to pound Alexander Madison. Pause it.
All right, so there's one last, I think, big free agent thing that we didn't talk about, but last guy, Phillip Rivers. He's on the Colts now. What's that mean to you?
Man,
what you think, Jess?
I love this for T.Y. Hilton if he can stay healthy. I think this better than last season for sure. I think T.Y. might have some sneaky draft capital in him.
Oh yeah,
you might be able to get him a little bit later than where he should be.
Hey.
Yeah, especially coming off that injury plague season. He could throw the ball. They got the good line. They got the running game. I kind of like Indy. They're gonna be fun.
So Indy's definitely gonna draft a receiver, right? But let's think of a world if they don't. Are you ready for this, Guru? My man, Perry Campbell. The Frenchman, Perry Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Bro, we've seen Keenan Allen with Phillip Rivers. He loves that slot guy. Pause, right? Bro, Paris Campbell could be a thing. Granted, they're probably going to draft a receiver. But with the draft capital they gave up, first round, they definitely don't have a first round pick because they gave it to our Niners. Shout out to our Niner gang, right? We got that 13th overall, baby. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, shit, right? Paris Campbell could be a thing. There's no more Eric Ebron, more than likely. They're not going to bring him back. You got Jack Doyle. And you got Phillip Rivers, who is steady number 2 and number 1. Always teetering, number 2 and number 1. When it comes to quickest release, right? It's always him or Brady. And it also had a lot to do with his line not protecting him. So he's always under pressure. So he's all these quick hitter passes. I think it was like 2.5 seconds of release, something like that. Phillip Rivers was incredible. Now he's going to a place who literally had the number 1 run blocking line. Not run blocking, I'm sorry. The number 1 pass protecting line, as far as PFF says, right? So this motherfucker is going to be able to 5 and 7 step drop back and hit off your man T.Y. Hilton. You know what I mean? Hit off my man Perry Campbell. All that shit.
There's somebody else over there. I'm forgetting.
Jack Doyle?
One of the receivers. No, one of the receivers.
Oh, Marquise Johnson?
Yeah. Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Zach Pasquale. Oh, the fake Frenchman. Remember?
Pascal, that's who it was.
Yeah, Zach Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the fake Frenchman. Yeah. Hey, check us out, Justin. We make up our own nicknames over here, and you know what I mean?
I love it.
Dude,
You'll find that out. Yeah.
you know who we love, and it's funny because when I found out Robbie, shout out to Robbie, when I found out he was a Redskins fan, I was like, oh my god, bro, we love Terry McLaurin. We call him the Scottish lad, Terry McLaurin, the Scottish laddie, the laddie, right? He's not even Scottish. Maybe it's even Irish, but the name is McLaurin, and it just stuck with me. I was like, oh, he's the Scottish lad. You know what I mean? I might fuck around and wear a kilt every time he has a big game. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking Scottish lad.
The bagpipes.
Fire up the
That's what you
bagpipes.
need to get some bagpipe sound effects
Yes.
every time.
Oh, we've done
Nice.
it. Oh, we got it. You know what I mean? We want
That's
Terry
what I'm talking
McLaurin.
about.
Shout out to Terry McLaurin, the Scottish lad. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Hey, well, I think that's enough for tonight, brother. Put a bow on this motherfucker.
Oh yeah, man. Check this out. But we're gonna go around. I'm gonna start with my man Justin from Clock Management. God damn it! Tell them everywhere they can follow you and find all the content and all the good isms.
What up? You guys find us on, first of all, subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate it. We're giving away a autographed Ricky Williams jersey on there. Just leave a comment on one of our videos from this month.
I'll smoke to that, Ricky.
Right?
Ricky!
Right? I know, I told Perry we missed an opportunity. We should have given that shit away on 420.
Hey, fucking push it all the way to 420.
Instagram. We got what's it called? A TikTok. We got one of those.
Yeah, like the young kids do.
Yeah. Try and stay hip, you know.
Gotta stay with it.
Yes.
Right, trying to. I'm a little too old for that, but I'm still on there. So if you guys do TikTok, hit us up.
Yes. Hey, Goo, do you want them to find you?
You'll find me with Bogie. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you can find my esteemed colleague at the Guru 408 on IG. And you can follow me at Bogart Scott Free World. Follow us at the GMM Network. Shout out to our sponsor, Milk and Honey. You got another, before the Goo hangs up, you got like another 5 minutes? Justin?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're going to sign off with the Goo. And we're going to, I want to pick the brain of one of the greatest fantasy minds I've ever encountered, Justin. But we're going to talk about some other shit for a quick minute. Goo, I love you. Stay beautiful. Don't
All right,
be
brother.
afraid to get
Justin,
your hair cut.
pleasure, brother.
Yeah, nice meeting you, man.
All right, mate.
For sure, brother. Peace. Jamaicans, pew pew pew. Okay, so I'm just for the last to close this show up. It's just a little bonus material, right? For the box set DVD, right? The DVD box set.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
Right?
the extended.
Yes, the extended version. All right, I know. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, you work for the Department of Defense. I say allegedly because I don't know if I could put that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want you to give some of our playmakers some clarity on why it's important to exercise this social distancing, and also at the same time exercise your social media gatherings, right? Right. Let them know what the importance right now with this Corona climate, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I was just watching a thing on TV about like bunch of young people out at spring break still partying, and they're like, you know, young. They're like, we don't need to worry about this because we're healthy and young. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you guys are, and you're probably not going to die if you get the coronavirus. But this is the problem with that.
Oh, they're healthy and young. Fuck. Oh.
Yeah. One, you're going to catch it still. You're not going to know you have it because you are young and healthy. You're going to spread it to everyone there, who's then going to spread it to everyone they come in contact with. And you're going to get kids sick. You're going to get elderly people sick. And you're going to end up being responsible for killing people by doing that. Including, like, imagine your own grandparents dying because you went and hung out with them. Or your nephew or someone dying. Like, you would feel so horrible. So, like, it's simple. It's not like this disease is not like an Ebola where you get it and you die and it's crazy. But it's super contagious, and like the flu. And so you fight it by staying away from people, which isn't hard to do. Social media makes that a lot easier. And then staying clean, washing your hands, just simple things like that. And like, that's why all these places are shutting down and stuff like that, to try and minimize it, because it's a virus. It's not going to go away. It's not a bacteria. But as we develop stuff like we do for the flu, it's slowly going to tamper down how severe it is when you do catch it, and manage how our healthcare systems can take care of this when you get it. So it's super important that you guys just try and keep down that infection rate, so we can manage it at a good rate. And just don't be that person that's like, oh, I don't give a fuck because it's not affecting me. Like, don't be that person.
Yeah, let me boo them. Don't be that person, you motherfuckers. You hear that, Playmakers? Don't you goddamn be that person. This is not only a PSA, this is a PSM, a public service mandatory announcement. There it is, a PSMA. We're creating all new shits here. It's a PSMA, a public service mandatory announcement. Matter of fact, we're gonna throw a G in there. It's a PSGMA. It's a public service goddamn mandatory announcement. There it is. A PSGMA. It's a public service goddamn mandatory announcement. You heard him. He's out here doing the real work out here. Mind you, like him, we want to be these motherfuckers that are the fantasy gods, the goats in the fantasy industry. But by day, he's helping contribute for us to even have this world to have fantasy. I mean, it's crazy that you're at the root of it. If you think about it like that, like, you're at the root of this, not saying, you know what I mean by root of it. Like, you're at you're at the root of this whole joint, while this affects everything, even all our, like we were talking off air, and saying it was a great conversation we had. Remember, we were talking about how, like, this speculation season, and it might even go on further if this joint continues, and then they would have to do the right thing by shutting the NFL down. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's so crazy. That's not out of the realm of possibility. And for all you playmakers that selfishly just want fantasy content and fantasy football, all you playmakers out there, hear me. Stay in confinement and self-quarantine. That way we could try to, that's you doing your fight. You're doing your bid to fight this shit, because this is like a sci-fi thriller, right? Right? Where, like, okay, a sci-fi movie. Motherfucking aliens come from elsewhere and they taking over the earth, and then all us human beings have to put our prejudice aside and then come together as humanity. You know what I'm saying? This is that. This is real. This is not a movie. You know what I mean? And I want to stress that we had a great pod. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank you again for coming on, and I don't want to put a damper on it, but this is definitely a PSGMA. It's a public service goddamn mandatory announcement. Stay listening to everything they say. Also, Trump, stop zeroing in on the Chinese men, or the Chinese. Stop all that. I mean, I get it. That was part of your campaign to begin with, that we got to take jobs back from China and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. But, man, it's the Chinese people, they're dealing with this shit in probably the most organized way in that sense, because they encountered SARS and they had a type of protocol. So it's like we might need to take a page out of their book. Also, just stop the prejudice. You know what I mean? Stop the ignorance. The cure to ignorance is education. Learn about some shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Justin. He's out there fighting that real good fight, sitting at the round table with hopefully less than 10 people at a time, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, man, this is not the first time, Playmakers, also, that you're gonna hear clock management on our joint. This is.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have you on our show as well, man, as we start gearing up for the season.
Oh man, I'm ready, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm the universe brought us together. You know what I mean?
For sure.
For sure. I think you know what. On that note, you know what I mean? You know, honestly, just man, I can go all night. Pause. You know what I mean? Jamaicans. Oh, real quick before I let you go, you know what's hilarious? You know that's like one of my run-on jokes. It'd be like Jamaicans, right? Like it used to be Jamaican horns, and then right, but then it turned into like Jamaicans because like people that were tuning in, they would just comment and be like Jamaicans, right? Or Jamaican horns, and so it became a thing where I'll be like, they're responding to that, right? And,
yeah.
And then like, so me and the Goo, we had this run-on joke where we were like, man, bro, we should really get a Jamaican on here, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and be like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then
You're
like
Jamaicans, and they just jump in the screen
yes,
behind you.
Yes. You're right. And then, so if you listen to episode 50, you know what I'm saying? Check that out. Yeah, also, shameless plug, check out episode 50, featuring Robbie, the founder of the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. So I'm running the intro, and then I'm hitting the Jamaican horns. I mean, Jamaicans, right? And then he goes, bro, you know I'm actually Jamaican Dominican. And bro, I was so dumbfounded. I was like, oh my God. This whole time, thank you, the universe. I was like, the fucking universe, bro.
Right? You're the dude I've been looking for.
Bro, and then the intro ends because I'm playing it live in my ears. He can't hear it. And I'm like, I missed the whole intro. I'm like, and then he starts talking, and I'm like, welcome to the Real Fantasy Play. I'm like, oh my God, I got a Jamaican on here. He's fucking he's the truth. Bro, so fucking great. But yeah, you know what? One more time, let them know where they can follow you before we really close this thing up.
Yeah, man, we're on. Well, I forgot to mention anyway, we're on fucking Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere where your podcasts, you listen to them, we're there. Subscribe YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We have a Facebook page, a TikTok, just wherever there's social media, we're there.
I'm going to make sure I got all those links, and we're going to put it in the description. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Talk shit to me in the comments. And be sure to follow my man Justin on Clock Management. Man, such a great episode. I don't want it to end, but it has to, right?
I appreciate it, man.
It has to. I don't want it to end. The Jamaicans are in the building. Hey, thank you again, my brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. Peace out.
Peace. Once again, that was Justin from Clock Management. We're going to put all them links in the description. All y'all playmakers need to follow that man. Hey! You still there?